कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम। This last mantra, 9th mantra. Yas sarvagnas sarvavit, yas sarvagnas sarvavit, यस्य ज्ञानमयं तपः, यस्य ज्ञानमयं तपः, तस्मादेतद्ब्रह्म नाम रूपमन्नं च जायते, तस्मादेतद्ब्रह्म नाम रूपमन्नं च जायते। The vision of the Shastra is Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, that whatever is Ishvara, or whatever is Brahman. To convey this vision, the Shastra and the Parampara, the teaching tradition, has certain methodology called as prakriya, method of unfoldment, method of explanations, technically called as prakriya, or method of exposition. Different prakriyas are employed. One of them is karya karana prakriya, karya karana prakriya. Cause-effect methodology of exposition, cause-effect method of unfoldment. Shastra first presents Brahman as the cause. That Tatha Aksharat Sambhavati Vishwam. That Akshara Brahma, from this Akshara Brahma, the world has come about. One. That, and then different another Upanishad says, Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantya visambhishanti iti tad vijignasasva tad brahmeti. From whom this world, the entire universe has come about, by whom the universe is sustained, unto whom it dissolves, that is Brahman. Shruti establishes the cause, Brahman as the cause. This is called Karana Karya Prakriya, or you can Karya Karana Prakriya, cause-effect methodology. And then further explanation the world is presented as, consisting of five elements, subtle and gross. They all make this entire perceptible or non-perceptible, subtle or gross universe. Therefore, we call it Pancha Bhautikam, five elemental world. That includes my mind, that includes my body, that includes my buddhi, that includes my senses, and sense, my body, mind complex of each one of us is included in this. We have seen this prakriya in detail in Tattva Bodha. Panchamahabhut, Akashasya Satvikamshat, Paitesham Panchamahabhutanam Satvikamshat Panchagnanendriyani Sambhutani. From Satvikamsha, Panchagnanendriya, Rajasamsa, Panchakarmendriya. Then Samashti Satvikamshat, Antakaranam. Samashti Rajasamshat, Pranaha. And Tamas, Amshaha, of these five elements, undergoes the process of Panchikaranam. By this, gross body, etc. are made. Stula Sharira Krati. Whole methodology. Now this Jagat, which is Pancha Bhautikam, consisting of five elements, is an effect. And that Brahman is cause. That means we have two things. One is cause, and the cause is presented as devoid of any attributes. Brahman has no attributes. Nirgunam, adreshyam, agrahyam, achakshu, asrotram, avarnam, ityadi. It is free from all attributes, whereas the world is endowed of all attributes. So, Gunam, there are two things. Then so many questions arises. Because this proposition or this statement that there are two things is against the vision of Shastra when there is only one Vastu. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma, you say, and then you yourself establish two things which are, you can say, totally opposite to each other in their nature. So, what is the relationship between this cause and effect? One thing. What is the nature of the cause as well as the effect? Then what is the nature of creator also? All these questions come. And by the way, all these questions are never discussed in any other tradition, any other theology, any other religion. Only one nature is that he keeps on punishing who don't believe in him. That's all they talk. Nothing more than that. No relation. What's the relation between the world and the Ishvara and how the creation came about? No discussion whatsoever. And you have to believe that only so many 1,000 years ago he created. And they are so strong. Puja, I have heard from Puja Swamiji was telling. When theology said God created this world so many years ago, that's what he came for discussion, and Swamiji asked him. He said, Swamiji said to him, but how can that be? We have discovered dinosaurs. We have discovered so many things which shows to us that creation is so many years old. And you said it is this much year old. Your number is much later than what the scientists say. How can it be? You don't understand, Swami. God is all powerful. He can create just 5,000 years ago and put old dinosaur in it. Swamiji said, let's have a cup of coffee. I can't discuss with this fellow who makes a story. You don't know God. God can do everything. He created and put the dinosaur later on. But then again the question remains, who created the dinosaur? And then anyway, that's okay. That's their problem. All these questions come. So this is Adhyaropa. Another methodology, they say Adhyaropa Papadabhyam Nishprapancham prapanchate. Anyway, I'll not get into that because so much of explanation would be required. Let's confine to this methodology of cause and effect. Then Shruti qualifies the cause. If the cause is material cause, then the effect cannot be separate from the cause. So then there are no two things, cause and effect. It is all the way cause only. If you say cause, whatever you call it, all the way effect, or it is all the way cause. When you say it is a material cause, like the cloth, this piece of cloth is made out of cotton. It is cotton now also. We say upavastram, upper cloth in English, but it is cotton. Or someone is wearing shirt, but it is cotton. Someone is wearing t-shirt or a dress or whatever it is cotton. So there are no two things, cause and effect. If the cause is the material cause. For material cause, effect is non-separate. In other words, effect cannot stand independent of material cause. But again, Shruti goes one step further. Brahman, effect is non-separate from the cause, whereas the cause can be or is independent of the effect. Like golden ornaments, clay and the pots. One more pot doesn't make any difference. It is all the way clay. Clay can be, but pots cannot be independent of the pots can never be away from the clay. And therefore, when we go to market to sell or buy a ring, when you sell the ring, gold also goes. When you buy the ring, gold also comes. You can't go to sell the ring and say, what's the price? How much will I get for this? And the goldsmith says you should be getting 40,000 rupees, let's say $600 US dollars. Okay, give me. He gives $600. He says, give me the ring. He says, you take the ring and give back the gold. We have a deal only for the ring. That doesn't happen. Gold also goes because it is material cause. Therefore, the karya, the effect, is essentially the karana. It is never away from the karana. Okay? Then, Brahman being the cause, Jagat being karya, is not separate from the Brahman. Again, one more point. In all these examples, if you destroy that so-called effect, the cause gets destroyed. If I burn this cloth, cotton also gets burned. If I put the ornament, that golden ornament, in a very high temperature, 2000-degree temperature, it just melts and evaporates. Gold also gets evaporated. So is it the case with the Jagat and Brahman? Because there is a pralaya for Jagat. It does take place. At the time of pralaya, that much Brahman should also be destroyed. So what Brahman was there at the time of Rama, of course it was before that also, is no more available now, because Krishna came in a different yuga and this is a different yuga. Every pralaya Brahma gets annihilated? No. Then Shruti establishes this, that is prakriya, that it is vivarta upadana. It is not parinami upadana karanam, it is vivarta upadana karanam. And Shruti says that it is Satyam. What it is? Satyam. If the cause is Satyam, what is Jagat? Shruti doesn't say that Jagat is non-existent. Totally non-existent like Tucham. Shashashungaha, horns of the hair. It doesn't say. Like, this good politician, honest politician. You don't have that one available now. It doesn't say that. Much less it says it is Satya. It is also not accepted. It is not is also not accepted. In between it is, and that in between is called Mithya. Its existence, it has a borrowed existence, and the so-called existence only is name and form. How did he create this? And because to establish the Mithyatva, we have beautiful example of dream. I created out of myself. With my power, creative power. So we can also say, Mama Gnanamayam Tapaha. Yasya Gnanamayam, Yas Sarvagna Sarvavit, Yasya Gnanamayam Tapaha. Just visualized the knowledge which was there with him without anything. That upadhi for the knowledge, that Brahman which is attributeless, to have the knowledge is just to be given the upadhi. That upadhi is maya and the maya is mithya. The knowledge that he had was as though brought about. He visualized it, identified and created. So the creation is manifestation of knowledge only. Though we say Pancha Mahabhutas, though I said in the beginning it is Pancha Bhautikam, but then ultimately it is not even Pancha Bhautikam, it is manifestation of knowledge. Like my dream, my entire dream is nothing but manifestation of all my knowledge. What I know alone comes out. Seeing, the aikshata, these are all the limitations of the word. Because Shruti says aikshata, he just saw. Seeing means visualizing. And the things got created. To create, he has not to work. This is where Vivarta Upadana Karana. Bhagavan does not have to create Pancha Mahabhuta. Today he created Pancha Mahabhutas, every one Mahabhuta every day, and it is a 5-day week. So then he rested on Saturday and Sunday because he needed a break. And then from Monday he started another thing. No. Sankalpa Matre. The Dakshinamurti Stotra Sloka. Maya viva vijrambhayatyapyad maha yogi vayasvechaya. That's the story of Vishwamitra. He created whole heaven for his disciple because he was not physically allowed by to heaven to Indra. Trishanku. The story is Vishwamitra, one of the forefathers of King Dasharatha, ancestors, Rama's ancestor, pleased the Vishwamitra Rishi and said, I have one desire. And he said, I want to go to heaven in this body, which you cannot go with this body, except the theologians. They tell that you can go with this body. And therefore they keep them buried. And then they say, on the day of judgment, you will be able to go in. That person of 90 or 100-year-old fellow cannot remember anything. What's the use of going to heaven? What will he do there? And by the time the judgment, the day comes, he would be 5,000-year-old or 7,000-year-old. Nothing would be left. He will be only atom or something, and the forgetfulness. This is of old man, Alzheimer. I think I told one day this joke. This fellow, this nowadays, because of this social media, there are a lot of reunions, school reunions and university reunion and PG reunion. They nowadays I am little short of jokes also because I don't go to Canada. If I go there, I will get some stock extra. I have one student who helps me to get some. And I don't have time. But this was a nice one. Then there was a school reunion after 50 years. 50 years. They were not 50, 60 years. They were all in their 70s and 80s guys. And this John saw Mary. That was her teenage first love. And then they met each other, and then there was 3-day reunion because it's all slow motion reunion, everybody talking. He made sure to share the table with Mary and recollected all those days, and then they made happily and slowly got the information that Mary is a widow. And he was also a widower. So next day, after a lot of setting up, he proposed her. He requested her, will you marry? I want to propose you. I am very lonely nowadays. I lost my. He said, Mary said, yes, sure. I also feeling like that, and it's nice. Okay, all excited. And next day, he brought that ring. And then, having brought the ring, he was so confused. And looking around, and finally came to table, and Mary says, why are you so confused? He says, yesterday I had talked to one of the girls that I will propose you. Today I have brought the ring and I forgot whom I had told. Mary said, oh, thank you. I also agreed to somebody. I don't know with whom. Now these fellows going to heaven, what will they do with this body? Anyway, coming back to the Vishwamitra story, that Vishwamitra pushed with his tapa shakti, the penance power, took him to heaven, and Indra kicked him. You cannot enter heaven with this body, get lost. And he created another heaven by sankalpa matra. Just by will, by sankalpa, desire. Let me have the new heaven. And the heaven was there. Similarly, so kamayat bahusyam praja yeti satapo tapyata satapastaptva idagum sarvam asrajat. The first is a desire to create. The desire to create is a time when the pralaya is over. The pralaya time comes to an end, decides to create. And then Prakriya gives knowledge. He visualized what, how create. And that creation, just by visualization, he had a creation like the tree. And that is why, remember this, you can tell to especially people living in the West, can tell to their children, those who have and those who are to have in future, they can tell to their children that our all Bhagavan are just sitting. Vishnu is lying on a Sheshana. Swamiji would say the first oil mattress of the universe. Vishnu had it. He's sleeping on that coil mattress. He's not doing anything. Brahmaji is just sitting and listening to Veena of Saraswati. She is playing, however beautiful or a melody she might be playing, enchanting melody, but someday you get bored, but he is listening. Shivji is always meditate, meaning there by what? For Utpatti, Sthiti, Laya, they don't have to do anything. Sankalpa matre. So, what he says, there's a very beautiful Vakya, the Acharya, this Bhashyakara writes here about, says, Yasya Gnanamayam Tapaha. What he says? Srujyamana Sarva Padartha Abhignatvam Eva Tapaha. The knowledge, Abhignatvam, the status of being a knower. Of what? Srujyamana Sarva Padartha. All this status of being a knower means knowing all that is to be created. He alone is tapas. Natu kaya mana klesha rupam. Not in the form of afflicting some pain, some misery, some agony to body or mind, etc. That alone. Gnanamayam tapa. Gnanam eva. Gnana lakshanam eva tapa. Tapas which is characterized by. So he saw everything in all details. And there the creation started. Like dream, I see and it comes. Whatever I see in mind, it comes. It's there for me to visualize. And that being the case, there is Advaita. Understand? That Shruti brings home this point. It like in my dream, the entire dream objects, dream people are non-separate from me, including those jivas, those individuals, my friends and relatives and my co-workers and everybody. Even the animals and plants and all of them are non-separate from me. So also this is non-separate from Ishvara, and the only difference, but it is only nahi hai, only difference. It is a big only. The big only difference between me and Ishvara is this. I am totally ignorant, unaware about my creation. Sarva srujyamana sarva padartha abhignatvam is Ishvara. Srujyamana sarva padartha anabhignatvam is Jiva. The fellow has ignorance about what is to be created, what is being coming out. I have a total ignorance of what is coming out. Whereas Lord have all the details, and therefore, yes, sarvagna sarvavit. Visheshena sarvam janati. That everything is visualized in all details. And that itself becomes the creation. The moment he identifies, there is a creation. That means the dreamer, I, has a basic ignorance. Whereas the Jiva has the ignorance. Ishvara has no ignorance, all knowledge. All details. Everything is known to him, and therefore he creates this way. And irony is, think of this. People in the dream trying to discover about all the objects of the dream. There are mountains and there are rivers and there are cars and animals and plants and everything in the dream is there. And there are so many research guys working on the research projects to discover the real nature of all this. And they have a basic ignorance about the whole blessed thing. Therefore, the whole process of these so-called scholars working very strongly, working committedly, trying to discover what is the nature of the dream and what is the, in other words, what is the nature of the universe, dream universe, is like what? like trying to find out the stem of banana tree. Keep on, or like trying to peel the layers of the onion to find out what is at the center. All the efforts of the scientist in the external world trying to find what is the essence of this universe. They are like trying to find out the essence of the onion by peeling each layer. There is nothing. Therefore, there was a sentence which we had seen in the beginning. Apara vidya, avidya hi sa. Apara means all other knowledge other than the self-knowledge. They are all apara vidya. And that it is avidya hi sa, including psychology. Because you may find out the nature of the mind, how it behaves and how it conducts, and you may draw some conclusion about unconscious and things like that. But basically, you are the Jagat Karanam Brahma. That Brahma, which is Satyam, is not separate from me. I am that, because the creation is Gnanamayam Tapaha. It is just manifestation of his knowledge. When that who is Sarvagna Sarvavit, yes, Sarvagna Sarvavit, that Sarvavit Visheshena Sarvam Janat, Tasya Gnanamayam Tapaha, that is there, and therefore the creation, that is possible only when Gnanamaya Tapaha Karyam Jagat. See, there are two types. Why it is Vivarta Karanam? Because if it is Karyam, Parinami Karyam, then Gnanamayam Tapaha will not work. By mere visualizing, creation will not come. You have to work for it. Then Kriya will be involved. Sadhanani will be involved. Upadana Karanani will be involved. But if it is just Gnanamayam, there is no Karya. Exactly like lady cooking the dishes in the dream. And actual cooking during the daytime for herself and the family. She may visualize all the dishes, but you have to work for it. I remembered because other day somebody had told me, Swamiji, I gave you bhiksha, but I could not give you the. And I was living from the country, and she comes to somebody else's house. I had a bhiksha, and she comes and gives me an envelope. I was cooking. I gave you bhiksha, but I couldn't give you an envelope. I said, did you give me bhiksha this time? I never came to your home. No, but I gave. Yeah, you never came, but I gave you. I said, how? Then she said, since last two visits, I have been wanting to invite you for bhiksha and give you bhiksha, and I'm feeling so guilty that I'm not able to make it before. And this time I managed somehow with all. She's a working lady, but then finally they said, no, everything is booked. And I had all dreams to feed you this and that items, typical, And so yesterday I dreamt that I gave you bhiksha. And you like this item very much. That can be happen only Gnanamayam Tapa. Then I said, okay, I'll take the Dakshina, but Bhiksha Baki Rakho. Let us have a reverse process. Dakshina in advance, Bhiksha in next visit. I said, I'll book right now. You tell me directly if it is convenient. So the point is, Gnanamayam Tapaha. Tapasa, Gnanamayam Tapasa. Srishti. If there is a creation by sheer knowledge, visualization, it has to be mithya. Karanam has to be vivarta upadana. Because it is a manifestation of knowledge. The whole dream is manifestation of all my knowledge. True, I have no control over it, therefore it may be a typical combo, as they say, combo offer. Nowadays, because of Corona, all these eateries are offering combo offers. Buy one and get Pepsi and salad and this free combo. Just so many rupees. So it may be horn belonging to someone else, the trunk belonging to someone else, the face belonging to human being. I may see a human being with a trunk and a horn. That means I have seen Ganpati and I have seen Rakshasa. That's all the combo. Typical Rakshasa is like these horns, and Ganpati I have seen. And you see yourself. I have seen myself in the mirror. You see yourself with the horn. And the fellow will come and next day tell, Swamiji, I'm so afraid. He said, what happened? He said, I hope some moon may not fall on me. Why? I said, why? I saw yesterday Ganpati like a Rakshasa. I think Ganpati is angry. Oh, really? How was his face? Oh, he just looked like me. That is a combo offer. COVID combo offer. You have been watching your face in the mirror. You have been doing prayers to Ganpati. And you have been watching these Indian TV serials about demons. And so you made a combo out of it. But it is a knowledge. Understand? It is your knowledge. What you don't know, it will never come out in the dream. Timbuktu will never be there in the dream. Gagabugai will never be there in the dream. Lodai will also never be there in the dream. It will, because you don't know what it is. That creation has to be mithya. It's just a manifestation, no creation. Manifestation means appears to be there. Satyam is Brahman, and that is I. That's Satyam is Chit Brahma. Consciousness is Satyam, truth. And that consciousness is I. That is why then the prakriya is complete. Sarvam khaluidam Brahma. That vision is unfolded in this section of 9 mantras by saying that therefore they say the world is like a dream, but not dream person. And people have all kinds of arguments. As I said, there are 2 categories. Having a basic ignorance about themselves, the Satyam Karanam, Jagat Karanam. They try to find out the Karanam of universe. And nowadays astrophysicists, Big Bang theory and that theory and this theory, they are great guys. These are all Nanto na chadir nachasam pratishta ashwatthaменam suvirudamulam asanga shastrena dradena chitta ityadi, that 15th chapter words. Vijnanvadis. And there are other categories. They say it is dream. Vijnanvadis. It is dream. It is not dream. It is like dream. Like dream means what? Gnanamayam. Dream is nothing but what all you visualize, that is Jagat is what that is because you visualize. Whatever you visualize time also. You visualize space also. So also Ishvara visualize time and space. Visualize Panch Mahabhutas. And out of those, all the whole world, every detail was there with him. Therefore, Sarva with all the details he knows. And he knows in general. What general? That everything is a manifestation of one consciousness. Like the whole dream is manifestation of I. Dream is not separate from me. Therefore, Sarvagna also. Understand the difference between 2 words? Sarvagna and Sarvavid. Sarvagna means one who knows in general. And Sarvavid means one who knows in details. He knows in details because what all he knows, that alone, and in that form alone, he has created. And that is why Jagat, here there is why there is no subject-object difference. It is only an apparent difference. Like in dream, there is subject-object difference. It is an apparent. And that apparent difference exists only till that basic ignorance continues. And the basic ignorance continues until you operate adequate means, proper means of knowledge. Vedanta being an independent pramana, and when you operate that pramana through a competent teacher with the proper attitude of Shraddha, etc., then only this will go. Basic ignorance. And then there is oneness is discovered. Okay. This is the conclusion about this section. The next section is talking about certain karmas, actions, and the result. Restatement. Shruti will restate this vision again in second part. That Shruti talks about various sadhyas, various ends, and not different means, different sadhanani for different ends. There can be more than one sadhanas for one sadhya, and there can be many sadhyas through one sadhana. Both are possible. Means can be one and ends can be many. End can be one and the means can be many. Now, why Shruti is doing this Anuvada? To introduce Adhikari of Vedanta. Vedanta is a means of knowledge. Is in this independent means, an adequate means of knowledge. This being a case, Vedanta being an independent and adequate means of knowledge, the nature, the swarupa of means of knowledge is such that whenever you operate, it reveals the object of knowledge immediately there and then. That's the swarupa of Jnana. There is no kala vyavadhana. There is no intermediary time between the means of operating the means of knowledge and the knowledge taking place. Moment you operate, knowledge takes place. Like when you open the eyes, you see. When I talk, you hear. It may be slow. There is a vyavadhana, that is internet problem. But if you are in front of me, it is immediate. Thank God, otherwise you cannot drive, especially in the city and more so in India. Oh, I had seen some cycle. You discover in hospital. I had seen some truck, and then after 5 days you discovered. Whereas you are doing all yogasana simultaneously, hand like this and feet like this in plasters with varieties of yogasana, you say, "Oh, I am here because I saw the truck coming." But no, immediately. But still, sometimes it doesn't take place. Knowledge doesn't take place. There is a vyavadhana of kala. Why? Because adhikaritvam is missing. The one who doesn't operate the means of knowledge is not ready for that, doesn't have adequate qualifications required for this. But understand, it is a means of knowledge. See, these people across the world and some Swamis, thank God that we are blessed to have met Swami. Not understanding this fact, they say true Vedanta is a means of knowledge. You by Upanishad you get knowledge, but then you have to do Shravanam and then meditate and then realize. The confusion, there is a confusion in confusion. So the confusion of meditation and realization, which is most prevalent, is caused because they don't understand that it is, and they don't see it as a means of knowledge. If it is a means of knowledge, if knowledge is an end, nothing can give you knowledge. If eyes are the means of knowledge, and I want to know the form and the color, I have to operate the eyes, full stop. Whether I meditate or not, I will not see the things. Simple as that. They don't see this simple thing. And therefore they talk of meditation. Then realize, then you have to meditate and realize. Meditate, 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 meditate. People keep talking. and then they start meditating. If the grossest one or the worst one, they start meditating on Vakya. Aham Brahmasmi. Sometimes Babayoho Abheda. There is no difference between Ba and Ba, B and BH. So Brahmasmi become Brahmasmi. I'm not Brahman, but I am the most deluded one. They don't go to teacher. They have not studied Shastra and now gets into it and keep on meditating. Aham Brahmas. Poor guys, really pitiable. And when they come out of meditation, they have a new aura. Today, one person was telling me, "Sir, you see what a prarabdha I have. I have to hear all this and feel blessed." Because I come across all big, big Mahatmas and talk like this. I cannot tell them that it is rubbish thing. I cannot even, I have to, that was, somebody other that told me, Swami, you are a very good artist. You can do drama. I said, I have learned from them because I cannot make any changes in my face to even to show that it is stupid. And they are telling me in such a glorifying way and as though obliging me by that. He said, I have one Mahatma. This is what Swamiji used to use that. And he used to, I remember Puja Swamiji so much, पहुंच गया है, पहुंच गया. Swamiji used to say this in a Tamil accent. पहुंचा है. So Tamil doesn't have certain alphabets. And this fellow said, so पहुंचे हुए महात्मा है. बोला अच्छा क्या पहुंचे हुए? 24 घंटे समाधि में रहते हैं, सब ब्रह्म देखते हैं. For 24 hours he is in samadhi and he sees everything Brahman. I said, अच्छा किसके शिष्य? स्वयंभू प्रसिद्ध है. He self realized soul. And I said, very good. I have to make this expression. I said, oh, good. Nobody knows. He allows me only, but I will take you only. As though he's giving me privilege. I said, I don't want, because I'll be stuck up for 6 hours with him. You think you oblige me, but after coming back home, I'll have a headache for one more day. And this all will come out in my class for next 2-3 classes. What Paus Gaya Mahatma tells me. And he will certify me. I don't want to come. I say, I'm thinking, Arey, nahi, Swamiji, it's a rare opportunity I'm giving. What to tell this fellow? And when he comes out, always remains in room. samadhi. When he comes out, his eyes also don't open. I said there may be an eye problem, like Ramdev has one eye problem. He keeps on winking the eye. He has issues. So this fellow might be having some issue with the both eyes. That's all, as simple as that. What is to do with opening and closing the eyes with Brahma Gnanam? I just don't understand. And people talk like this, not understanding Upanishad as a pramana. The hitch is adhikaritvam is missing. If it doesn't work, there is some problem with you, not pramana. Like I told you, only eyes will see, but my eyes don't see. It means get glasses, that's your problem. But what will reveal colors and the forms to you is nothing but the eyes. No meditation, no ears, no nose, no touch, no eating will reveal that. You have to use this proper adequate means of knowledge, namely the eyes. In your case, they are not adequate. You need glasses. In Sanskrit, this is called netram, and this glasses, pair of glasses are called upanetram. Netram and yatanto yoginaschainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yatantopi akritatmanah nainam pashyanti achetasa. That 15th chapter verse is so clear. Yatantaha yoginah, yatanto yoginam chainam, enam atmanam. This, the yogis who are putting in the effort, striving for this. And then with Shravana Mananam Nididhyasanam Kurvantaha Yogina. Those who are pursuing Shravana Manandhyasan, Yatanto Yoginas Chainam, Enam Pashyanti Atmani Avasthitam. They see as the very self, not abiding in the self. They see that Brahman, the truth, that Jagat Urdhva Moolam Adashakam, Jagat Karanam Brahman, as the self. Yatantopi. There is another category who is working for it, striving, they are doing Shravana Manana Nidhyasanam. Nainam Pashyan. Who are they? Yatantopi akritatmanaha achetasa. Akritam, asamskritam, antakaranam, atma antakaranam, yesham te akritatmana. Whose antakaranam is not samskritam, shuddham, shuddha antakarana rahitaha. Aikagra rahita chetasah yatantopi akritatmanah acetasah darpara yuktaha damba yukta with wrong attitudes and values and the mind which is impure, they can't see it. Yatantopi. But that doesn't mean yatantopi I should meditate. I have to gain adhikari. So Shruti here does Anuvada. Or it ultimately, listen, if you take independent mantra, then it may look that Vedanta is talking about karma kanda. The mantras about karma and karma phalas. But that's not a tatparya. Like just now, today I gave you the essence of the whole section. Whole section was to tell you that there is started with karya, started with karanam, tatha aksharat sambhavati vishwam. And when there is no karya karanam, it is only manifestation of karanam, and that manifestation is mithya. Therefore, that pratigna comes true. Kasminnu bhagavo vignate sarvamidam vignatam bhavati. Knowing which you come to know everything. That is possible because one alone has become everything, as though become. One alone is manifesting as everything. So-called everything is not separate from that one. Like my dream, the entire dream is not separate from me. And therefore, if the basic thing is known, the entire dream is known. And if one is not known, what all you know in the dream is of no value. As we say in Gujarati, ekda vagarna minda house. All zeros without one. There may be 1 0 only, but it has a value if it is preceded by 1. And there are 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 4 zeros. It makes bigger value. So dream, we have basic ignorance. Ishvara doesn't have that basic ignorance. Therefore, Sarvavit and Sarvajna both. And that discovery, you have to imagine. Suppose in a dream you know that I am the one who is a dreamer. I am not separate from the dreamer. And there is freedom. There is the end of it. The purpose of human birth is fulfilled. That's a tatparya. That's the essence. The next section begins with certain karmakanda mantras. And it is called, you can say anuvada. But it is done to introduce the adhikari. Vedanta is a pramanam for Atmagnanam only. But still it is there to emphasize the need for adhikari. Like Bhagavad Gita. When you say, Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastra. Gita has two subjects, Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Okay. But what is first chapter? First chapter is neither Brahma Vidya nor Yoga Shastra. No. No. There is no Yoga, neither Karma Yoga or nor Brahma Vidya. There is one more Yoga Shastra. You can interpret as Yoga Shastra. Then you have to interpret the word yoga from the verb yuj. Yuj means to join. So there is a Yoga Shastra. What Yoga Shastra? The first chapter is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. That is yoga. Everybody is Vishada yogis. All the time brooding of the pain, all the time telling this. After 35, for 25 years I have been laboring in this house rewardlessly. For 25 years I have been suffering. This is all Arjuna Vishadas. That whole chapter. So many yogas. This is another thing. So many yogas are talked in Gita. Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. And then what about Vishad Yoga? It is not talked about. The first chapter is necessary, though the subject matter is Brahma Vidya Yoga Shastra, to reveal who is adhikari for Shastra, who is qualified, to whom this pramana will works. Eyes are pramana, provided they are normal. You would be able to see it as it is. But if there is some abnormality, you can't see. Similarly, you see what Shastra Guru is teaching. You see what Shastra is revealing, providing you are ready for it. So, to introduce an adhikari for Vedanta, this section begins with discussion on karma and ultimately talks about the limitations for Vairagya, which is the required qualification for adhikari. We will see all these details next weekend. 24th and 25th. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.